There's a strike going on and a rally in San Francisco. Are you a part of it? Let's talk about it. Welcome everyone, I'm Mark. Welcome to my world. Welcome to UberHints. In this video, we are going to look at something that's happening right now in the moment. Apparently, there's a nationwide strike happening, and we're in about the 9th hour as I make this video. I am reading a story that came to me through the mailbag. Thank you, JJ. And it's shown up in a few different areas online. But the gist of it is, there is a strike. And according to this article that I'm reading, it says it's happening in San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, Las Vegas, Denver, Austin, Baltimore, Boston, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. Did you know about this? If you're in any of those markets, are you participating in the strike? We're going to talk about a couple of things, so I might as well get this one out of the way. I have always said for a number of years now that strikes are ineffective, because for every person that goes on strike, there was an old saying. I know I just interrupted myself, but there was an old saying supposedly attributed to P.T. Barnum: there's a sucker born every minute. And then to expand on that, apparently what he really said was there's a sucker born every minute and two to take him, meaning for every person that will be gullible enough, there's going to be even more people that are going to find a way to work it, right? So it's kind of the same thing with rideshare. For every person that goes on strike, there's going to be two drivers willing to jump in and see that as an opportunity. By very nature, I think drivers are opportunistic. That's why we choose to drive, right? Because you like to be in control. You like to, in many ways, work the system, see how you can find a way to be profitable. And for a lot of people, that means I'm going to undermine my fellow driver. Not all of us, certainly, but there's going to be enough people that it makes it very difficult to make a strike be effective. First of all, you have to reach everybody, and there's going to be a lot of people that simply are not interested in the media campaigns. They don't get involved with it. They just want to get out, turn on their app, drive, come home, and continue with their lives. So in that regard, you're missing a big chunk of people. Then there's going to be those people that just don't want to be part of it. I've heard about this, but for the same reason, it's not my fight. I'm doing fine. We had a live stream the other day, and one of our viewers said she was making like $4,000 a week driving 3 to 4 days a week. I balked at that just a little bit. I hate to call a viewer a liar, so I didn't. But I said, yeah, I don't know. That seems a little unrealistic to me. Can you imagine making over $100,000 a year working 3 days a week? That's pretty good money, but I digress. So there's just going to be a large chunk of people that are not going to participate in a strike. So I don't know if they're effective, but they are effective for one reason, just like this rally is effective for one reason. Well, actually two reasons right now. First of all, there is such a low amount of drivers right now that even pulling any of them off the road is probably going to have an impact. The second reason is, we're reading it right here, you can get media attention. And that's why strikes and rallies, it gives you something to have a soundbite. And this one says, Lyft and Uber drivers plan 24-hour strike starting Tuesday night at midnight. And interestingly enough, this just hit last night or yesterday, which is why I'm just reporting on it now. So supposedly we are in the midst of said strike. All right, so what are they striking for? Drivers will advocate for Protecting the Right to Organize Act. We've heard about this PRO Act, right? Better known as PRO Act, which will ultimately allow them to unionize with recognition from Uber and Lyft. I think it's a tricky thing. Every time that drivers go gung-ho into something, they really don't think it through. I'm talking in generalizations here, but a lot of times they don't think it through, and then they're very unhappy with the outcome. Can I give an example? I'll tell you what. The example comes up in the next paragraph. Beyond the pro-act advocacy, drivers are protesting against the work, and now this is just California drivers, against the work conditions and the passage of Proposition 22. The legislation written and lobbied for by gig work giants that passed last November, codifying rideshare drivers and delivery workers as independent contractors. And it goes on talking about why that was so bad. If you remember back then, I said there was no win in that, right? You were damned if you do, damned if you don't, with that whole Prop 22 thing, because the bill that was put forward and went into law was poorly written, ineffective. Prop 22, of course, was written by the rideshare giants. Neither one of them was good for California drivers, so they're sandwiched between the proverbial rock and a hard place. And as a result, I think you got to be careful. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. And then it goes on to talk about wages. And it says in April, Uber said they were paid a median of $25.28 in San Francisco. Sounds like a lot of money to me. Of course, San Francisco also has a very high cost of living. And the drivers' advocacy groups point to mileage rates dropping from 68 cents to 42 cents. If that's starting at San Francisco Airport, 65 to 32 starting at LAX. Which all goes to what I have been arguing for a long, long time, almost forever, almost as long as I've been on this channel, a return to percentage-based payment. It's the only thing that's fair. What they are saying here is Uber and Lyft can turn on a dime. They can change your mind, adjust those rates whenever they want. And they do. They adjust them randomly, willy-nilly, and those people that are making the good money are not making it off of the rates, or making it off of surges, or making it off of bonuses. You know, we're seeing those bonuses. Why do I want to say bonuses? Maybe my mind is thinking benefits. But right now they're having bonuses like, you know, the $100 for 3 rides and $18 for 3 rides. That's real common ones that we're seeing across the country. So when that money fizzles out, when it dries up, are we going to continue to see these drivers bragging about the money they're making? And please, I don't mean bragging in a negative sense. Bragging, if you're pulling it off, bragging's good. Blow your own horn. But I just wonder if it can continue. The one way it can continue is if we're paid a percentage. It's the only way. And I know drivers are going to say, yeah, but they hide that from us. Right now, they hide it from us in their reporting, not legally. If we have an agreement, a contract, so to speak, that they're going to pay us a percentage, and it turns out they're not, they're now fire and brimstone time. So, 2080, 2575, with us getting, of course, the 80 and the 75, that's what we have to shoot for. That's what we should be fighting for. All of this is just, you know, a lot of kids on the playground crying and whining if you don't have something that's really powerful and really productive and a simple message. This message is too convoluted. You know, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do everything under the sun. Well, you know, let's shoot for one positive thing. And what I would advocate for, return to a percentage-based payment. It's the only thing that's going to work. It's the only thing that's going to work. We can get them to agree to everything, and they manipulate. They change rates. They change policies. They try to entice us with tier systems. So they're all feel-good type things. None of it pays the bills. I don't see any of that. I don't see a tier showing up on my bank account. Maybe this kind of a tier, but not tier when we're talking about levels. So what we should be shooting for, what we should be striving for, what we should be advocating for is percentage-based pay. Tell me if I'm wrong. Leave your comments down below. As always, I encourage you to like and share the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe by clicking my face in the corner. Don't forget to ring that bell icon. That way you'll know when I post new videos. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I'm Mark, and this is UberHints.